We begin in Kaikoura. People leaving today courtesy of the Air Force and the Navy, and supplies and politicians coming in. Among them the Prime Minister, who has reassured businesses that they will get financial support very soon. But he's also warned them that State Highway 1 from the north in particular is likely to be out of action for months. Rachel Graham reports.
John Key says the biggest challenge is reopening the roads, but there won't be an easy fix.
I think in a limited form things will open relatively quickly, but you can see from the scale of the slips north of Kaikoura, State Highway 1 won't be operational for, I would suggest, months on end.
He says there is a real determination to get the town back open for business, and particularly to ensure tourists are happy to return.
There will be ways of them coming down through that alternative route and coming into Queenstown. So there's just no getting away from the fact that I think their season is going to be much weaker than it otherwise would have been by a factor of some, simply because they're just not going to get the flow of traffic that they normally get.
Mr Key says he expects to announce a support package tomorrow to help businesses cover expenses and keep paying their staff. But one local cheese factory owner, Daniel Jenkins, says they will need more than a few months' support. He says the town makes most of its money in the summer, but that won't happen this year.
So for the next year, our businesses are interrupted. From what I can see, looking at most people's policies, we're not going to have insurance support for the interruption. There's no insurance for tourists not turning up on your doorstep.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a year.
Yeah.
I would suggest looking at potentially some of our businesses being able to be relocated for a year and potentially coming back in.
The other major industry in Kaikoura is fishing, and the impact from the quake on that is still unknown. Paul Renke has been fishing off Kaikoura for 45 years. He says the change to the seabed is dramatic.
From a low tide perspective, it's just probably, I'm guessing, probably 800 mils to a metre lower than would normally be for a low tide. But I believe, and speaking to other people involved in the fishery, water's possibly worse than here. North of Kaikoura is worse than here from a marine perspective.
Mr Renke says the damaged roads also create a problem for the fishing industry, which exports 95% of its catch via the roads. The HMNZS Canterbury arrived in Kaikoura today, and one of the crew's first jobs was to determine what impact the changed seabed might have on its access to the bay. Earlier this afternoon, Lieutenant Commander Matt Kaio spoke to Phil Pennington about the process of checking the beaches before transporting people to the ship via the ribs or inflatable boats.
So it's looking promising for South Bay at the moment. We've just completed our side scan and our spot depth survey of the approaches and onto the wharf. So at this stage we are green for operations for the LCMs, but of course it's dependent on tide.
What's an LCM?
Landing craft, Canterbury's landing craft.
And that, I understand that's not going to come all the way in, and they're going to come halfway and then some ribs?
Yeah, so at this stage, because the tides are so low and the seabed has moved slightly, it's given us less margin and clearance for the keels. So we'll transfer people in and out by rib, and once the LCM, which can take approximately 100 people, is full, they will take out to the main ship.
Spanish tourists Juan Ayala and Nuria Basquel were hoping to get a ride on the Canterbury. They told Phil Pennington they were looking forward to getting out of Kaikoura.
Yeah, we're going to get on that ship, big ship, and get to Christchurch. It's going to take a long time, like 9 hours, I think.
9-hour trip, do you get seasick?
No.
Does anyone get seasick?
No. But I have my pills with me. I booked it for the whale watching, but I couldn't go, so I hope now it's the time to use it.
But maybe now we can watch some whale.
On the way out.
I hope.
The Canterbury is transporting 160 people and 2 dogs out of Kaikoura. It is expected to arrive in Christchurch between 2 and 4 tomorrow morning. In Christchurch for Checkpoint, Rachel Graham.